Okay, guys, so I am recording. Let me start off by welcoming everybody to our first official workshop webinar for the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective. I am Colin Thompson, one of the founders of the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective. I got to say that I am very excited about this activity tonight. Initially, we called this a coaching webinar. However, in the last few days, we realized this is not just a webinar, it's actually a workshop. And the main difference being, in the webinar, we're really here to listen, learn something new, and then shut down. In a workshop, we're here to do work. And I'm so excited that we're going to be doing what I call life coaching work. We have a great set. We have 3 of our member coaches who all are in process of creating their coaching program or in process of getting further along in their development as a life coach. So collectively, we're going to give them feedback tonight, give them things to think about, and help them to further develop their programs. Okay, so we have a very simple agenda. One of the things that we like doing here within the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective is we like having big impact with little effort, meaning you're not going to see us have a lot of fancy slides. I'm not going to talk too long. I'm going to be very brief. I'm first going to give some background on how we developed and who we are within the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective. We're then going to jump immediately into the workshop coach introductions and the workshop. Again, we have Coach Juliet Yao, Coach Hymn Wong, and Coach Leila Just, and they'll all do their introduction in a few moments. And finally, we're hoping to always recruit some very active coaches that want to join a group and teach, learn, and really add value to each other. Now, guys, as I'm speaking, if you have any questions, just feel free to voice your questions out, and I will take a pause. So, Shanghai Life Coaching Collective, who are we? We started as a group, I believe. We created the group May of 2019, May of this year, so approximately 2 to 3 months ago. We had our first face-to-face meeting, I believe it was June 6th, around June 6th, June 9th. The reason we created the group is we wanted to create a group with the mission of forming a collective of life coaches in Shanghai where we can teach, support, and learn from each other. Now, a lot of us are what I would say growing coaches. I call a growing coach anywhere from day 0 to about 3-4 years. A lot of us are growing coaches, and we still look to learn. And one of the best places to learn are from other coaches that are, 1, going through the same thing we're going through as we hope to develop and grow, and 2, coaches that have already achieved and accomplished more than we have accomplished. That's some of the best way of learning. One of the things that we talk about within our collective is that as fellow coaches, we are in no way competitors. We are not competing against each other. We are here to help each other. If you think about individuals who can benefit from life coaching, I actually believe that there are far more individuals who can benefit from life coaching than there are coaches that are adequately prepared to help those individuals. So again, our mission as coaches should be to help people achieve their dreams, desires, and goals. And by doing that, we must have the tools to do that. And the best place to get the tools are people who have been there. And again, once we learn a new skill, it's our responsibility to teach that skill to somebody else who does not have that skill. So that's part of our mission. Our member coaches are aspiring, new, or experienced life coaches, eager to support other life coaches. We call this part the giving back, right? The more we get, we also must give back. Also, eager to learn from other life coaches. And this is interesting because a lot of times ego gets in our way from asking somebody, hey, how did you do that? Hey, can you help me? So we're very open to learning from other life coaches and actively promoting life coaching. Again, if you look at our goals are to help individuals reach their dreams, desires, and goals. And by that, we must help promote life coaching because let's be honest, guys, most people still do not know what life coaching is. So the more people that we can help through life coaching, the more people will know about life coaching. And then finally, we really focus on 2 areas. the business side and the coaching side. The business side, how do we consistently obtain clients? How do we build a brand? And how do we run a business? A lot of times, coaches get really absorbed into improving their skills as a coach. Now, if you're the best coach in the world, it's really hard to add value to individuals if you cannot actively get individuals and also know how to run a business. So we want to help coaches understand that this is a business and how do you run a business. And secondly, at the end of the day, we have to be able to bring value to clients, and that's directly through our ability to coach clients, help them do what? Reach their dreams, desires, and goals. So this is who we are, the Shanghai Life Coaching Collective. At the end of this presentation, we will be sharing information on how, if you're interested, you can join our collective. Okay, so today's workshop coaches, Coach Juliet Yao, who will be sharing her coaching journey, Coach Hymn Wong, who will be sharing his work on his program titled Tools for a Meaningful Life, and Coach Layla Jost, who will be sharing her program called the 5 Steps Improvement Method. So before we jump in, let me share with you guys how I came across Juliet Yao, Coach Juliet Yao, So prior to starting my own life coaching practice business, I was working as a coach with IBM. During my last 2 years with IBM, I was doing a lot of work commuting to Beijing. Juliet was one of the teams there that I worked with on a day-to-day basis. Because I'm an outgoing person and Juliet is a very outgoing lady, we ran into each other in the hallway and she invited me to lunch. We went to lunch and I remember we had a conversation talking about what our passions were. And Juliet talked about her passion of really helping people and giving back and really doing work that inspired her. And she reached out to me, I think it was maybe December, January, telling me that she had already started working on her path to her passion. So I want to welcome Juliet Yao. And before we start, let me just share with you guys again what we're looking for. This is a workshop. Our coaches are here to build and improve. So everything being shared today is a work in progress. Even as Juliet shares her coaching journey, as coaches, we have to be able to tell our coaches our background. So being able to clearly say who we are in our journey to a potential client is very key. Provide feedback and thoughts. You're free to ask any and all questions, and also challenge what you see and hear. If you hear something or read something that puzzles you, ask the coach the question. So without me talking anymore, let me turn this over to Coach Juliet Yao. So Juliet, you want to share?
Yes, I would like to take over. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so let me unshare here. One moment.
Okay.
Okay, so you should be able to share now. Perfect.
So you can see my screen right now?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. So hello everybody. So I'm Julia Yao, and I'm so glad to join this group. Not only for the common interest, but also the diversity background, and also the diversity culture here. And it's really, I feel really excited. So regarding me, it's quite interesting. This is the page. I just try to summarize how I start the coaching journey. So actually, maybe I can brief me some background. So I work for IBM from campus, and right now for 12 years, and have done quite a lot different jobs. Development senior manager, business development leader, offering manager, and also consultant, and also coach is just my so my personal interest, and this is and I just put it to the table. But I think coach is a very key part of my career in the following. Yeah. So and I want to share how can I start. This is back into 2000. Back in the age that I met with Colleen. So Colleen, I still remember that in the coffee shop, we have lunch together, and Colleen asked me a question. I think that is a very, very powerful question. He asked me, Julia, what's your dream? Yeah, so in my daily business, I think this question is has long not mentioned. Yeah, so I that moment I feel I cannot answer, and I don't have answer yet, and I was shocked that I don't have answer. I feel, but that inspired me to have some deep thinkings. What I really want, what's my passion for, and where should I go? But I don't have any answers yet for that. And that seems a good starting. Later on, something magical happens. So in the company, we have a training, it's a coaching management course. And I apply that. And I feel, wow, it's so impressive. And I have never taken such kind of training course like before. It's just so experience. It's so special experience, and I feel coaching is really special rather than the general training. And it gave me some deep thinkings, and also awake me by some very powerful questions. And with this passion, and also with the curiosity, I just keep exploring and follow another leader. IBM, and she transformed her career from a CTO to a life coach. I'm just so curious, what kind of big driver that can push her off the normal path, which is everybody surrounded, and I think that is a great job. That's a great career, because she already reached to a very top level, but she gave up everything and just switched to life coach. I'm full of curiosity, so I take taking. I found myself, invest myself, and apply the CTI Coactive Coach Institute courses, and start the fundamental course. I think that's fabulous. The experience is so impressive. And then later on, I fall into another big choice, because I into the middle level class, it will be big vest of money. And finally, after struggling, I chose that, and I finished probably around 6 months learning for the medium class for 4 modules. And then later on, I choose to follow my curiosity and follow my passion, and just to proceed and start my certification of professional creative coach. Okay, so that's where I am right now. So I'm in the certification and have around 40 hours life coaching in records, and have probably around 6 clients, 8 clients right now serving. So this is chapter 1, and chapter 2 is that when I start the coaching, life coaching, and serve my clients, I feel, wow, this is a great great things to do, because I feel it's very much serve my life purpose. My life purpose is to serve more people and org leaders to awake their strong innership through mindset shift. Yeah. Mindset shift. If you have any question, just raise your hand or just voice out, because I cannot see you right now. Because I think you can shape your life through mindset change. That's just like iceberg. That we need to go to deeper and change the mindset, know who we are, what do we want, what's our passion, what's our advantage, and where should we go, and then we can do a conscious and a meaningful work in life. Yeah. While serve these clients, I feel so many people are struggling with their limits, struggling with their emotion. While these people may look successful in front, or maybe looks very professional in the table, yeah, but the inner, they feel they are not very authentic to themselves, and sometimes they feel very lost of themselves. And when I jump in, actually, my clients, I generally reach them proactively. I found them might be trapped in some area, and I just go and offer them. So I'm a coach right now. Offline, I'm a coach right now, and I think I would help you. And would you like to offer me a chance to do some demo and to see whether we want to go this journey for a long time? And the feedback after several coach is that 1 or 2 coach sessions, they feel very good. And they feel that the change happened, and it's very magical. And this gave me a consistent confidence. This is a very valuable thing and a meaningful thing to do. Okay, this is the chapter 2. And I think because of limit time, so I just jump to the chapter 3. Chapter 3 is really about myself. I feel when I fulfill myself, right? So I take the major reason that I keep pursuing coach is that I want to explore more about myself. And after several cries, several process work, I become more authentic. Previously, the image is more professional, blah, blah, blah. But right now I feel more light and more energetic and vivid and playful, and I'm more authentic. And one thing I want to mention is that I become more fearless and more fearless. I see some of my my barrier, and I keep break that with my pace. Yeah, so that's something that I'm so proud of. Though right now I'm still struggling about my career transformation. I know I won't need to seek something new. So I would think for chapter 3 is is like a coach. We have to be our coach being state is very, very important. So if you want your client be more brave and courageous, you have to be, right? So so that is my time, and that's my story, and use a quote to end my story. I believe that you will either step forward into growth or you will step back into safety. Yeah. So thank you for giving me the chance to sharing.
Hey, Juliet, first of all, thank you for sharing it. I know that we do have some questions. I want to say first that I loved your comment about being fearless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be fearless. You got to say, you know what? Even if I have fear, forget about it. I'm going for it. So I think that's tremendous. I know Hymn had a question earlier. Hymn, do you have a question?
Well, yeah, actually, thank you for Juliet for sharing. It was really nice to hear, and very, very, how to say, inspiring. Also, when you were telling you were trying to step out from your career, like how long was that ago?
So actually, I'm taking the same job as before, but it's kind of coach is my second part-time job. Yeah, second but and I gradually put coach onto the table. Previously, it's just off the table, under the table, and I hidden. But right now, I put on the table and let more people to know, and even my boss. Yeah, yeah, and I think it's not end. I may share you more later on after my transformation.
And as you said, we are in. This is chapter 3, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious because I know all of us at one point we have to tell our spouses that we're looking to adjust things and we want to go into coaching. How would the support? Because I know that having that support at home goes a long way into helping you really be proactive, as opposed to not getting support and trying to do everything you can quietly. So how do you go?
Yeah, I feel several hinders. Several obstacles. So one is from a family. So family, my husband. Yeah, he don't understand. He think this is a kind of brainwash things. Yeah. And I'm wasting money and something kind of illegal. Yeah, and I can feel another hinder is from myself internally. And does I really believe that? Does I really believe that? Can I bring that to the light and let more people to know that?
Right.
Yeah. So these are two parts. But what I know is what I do is that talk. Connect with people. That's very, very important. Yeah. So lots of people, I think it's not lots, but several groups, they has been stepped into further, and they have MCC, PCC. Right. So I just went to some ICF regular sessions. So they have group there, and I got some energy there. And I talk with people about questions, and they give me answer. Another thing is that one thing I learned is I try to believe in myself, inner voice. Right. Previously, I not. Yeah, I just keep the inner voice blunt and cover that. Yeah, but right now I more believe that. So I just told my husband I need to do this. So he see my courage and he see my persistence and he understand. Try to gradually understand.
Right. I think that's great. And as people who are my feedback here, right? So people who are always trying to be faster runners, lift more weights, they'll spend time in a running group or they'll spend time joining a gym group. Us coaches, we also need to make sure that we're doing what? That we're spending time around other coaches, right? Yeah. Because being around other coaches, it helps us, motivates us. So same thing. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with a lot of other coaches and going to those programs. That's great.
Yeah, and also I think the feedback from client is very important because what they feedback is give you the confidence this is the right thing to do and very meaningful. Yeah.
Yes. So I had one more question on my side. You mentioned you have 8 clients and you're working full time. Woo! Yeah. How are you? How do you manage that schedule?
Okay. So I have my full-time job.
Right.
And I have my 2 kids as well. So generally my time open for 2 time slot.
Okay.
And right now I have the supervision course every week. So generally I open 2 time slots. So one is in the noon time from 11:30 to 1 p.m.
Okay.
And another one is after 9:30. Yeah. So after my family time. Yeah. Wow. So generally my noon time is fully booked. But I'm trying to contact people, connect people, and to be my client more proactively, like men. So right now my clients are female, and I right now persuade 2 men clients join me and experiment that. I want to do some experiment and see whether this works for men as well.
Yeah. Well, you're doing the right thing, and I commend you because I know that it's hard for me to be a coach after like 8 p.m. because my energy just isn't there. So I commend you for having the energy at 9:30 and being available for your clients. So I commend you there.
Yeah, but if you have you are full-time dedicated to this, that will be more flexible.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's a balance, right? Because if you're doing a full time, you have to explain to your spouse why your income has gone down.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go back to him.
Oh yeah, just a question. You said you only have a like noon time, right? And then do you often like see your clients face to face, or do you also do it like just like a phone call, or like how do you do that?
Fortunately, I still working in a company, so that's good thing. One good thing is that colleagues that know me, from whatever channels I know, will be more convenient. And I think this will be a large group of potential customers. So because this majorly from my colleagues and my ex-colleagues, so we can meet face-to-face, but I still have clients working in the other city, so we just call in WeChat through online.
I see. So it works through WeChat also, like if it's like really difficult problem of someone you're helping, is it still okay through WeChat?
WeChat or Zoom or so some maybe just a phone call.
I see.
So video, I think the audio is fine, and sometimes we need to shut up and video to keep us more engaged.
I see.
What I want to mention previously that I put my sister into this group, and my sister into coach career as well, and she is kind of another. She is passionate in the Gallup analysis, so we are working together to define some offering packages for our clients. So it's like 6 months journey for 3 phases. So first phase is explore yourself by finding your inner leader, and also doing some Gallup analysis to find your advantage. So this is one. And second phase is stretch yourself. So we will more challenge our client and ask them to do more things that they feel more difficult. And third, we will help them to reshape themselves. So most of my clients is in the phase 1, and some of them already will finish the phase 1 journey this week. So we're toward into the phase 2 and trying to explore what we can offer in the phase 2.
Great. So Juliet, great. I think if you need any feedback on that program, please bring it to us, right? Because we'll give you feedback, and maybe we'll even learn something from it. So thank you for sharing. Before we move on, does anybody have any other questions for Juliet? Okay, great. Juliet, thank you. I'm going to take over the share again here. Continue. Okay. 1 moment. A little bit too further ahead there. I think you guys are now seeing my screen again, correct? Are you guys seeing my screen again?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so Juliet, again, thank you. Very interesting. We're now going to go to Coach Hymn Wong, and I'll tell you how him and I got connected. When I first started the Shanghai Coaching Collective group, him joined almost within the first few days. Also contacted me on WeChat and told me he had developed a set of cards that he was trying to find a way to use those to help people improve their life. At first, I thought he was a vendor or somebody who's trying to sell something, right? But I couldn't visualize how you use cards to help people improve their life. So between that time and our first face-to-face meetup, which was around the June 6th time point, he did join our WeChat group, and then he did join the first meeting. In that first meeting, we talked about a lot of things. We talked about our vision for the group, right? Although I'm the founder, I believe that everybody in the group, especially in the beginning, has some say in how we want to make this group great. We want to make this group very valuable, again, for who? For coaches that are trying to improve their skill set and are open to learning from others, teaching from others, and helping their clients achieve their goals. So one of the things we talked about in that session, him was very open and said, guys, here are my cards. Here's what I'm trying to do. Once he put those cards on the table, everybody's eyes just lit up, right? Because the cards, I was like, wow, now I see exactly what you mean. I don't know how to use it yet, but I see the potential for that. So we then went into a conversation on, after this meeting is over, what's your next step? For him, that was further developing his program, his system. And based on that, he then sent a note to the coaches saying, hey guys, I'm going to have a meeting to further develop this concept. Who would like to join? So a few of us joined that meeting. And from that meeting, we made a lot of progress. And Coach Hymn today is going to share with everybody what that program is, what he's trying to achieve, and the next steps, and hopefully get some more folks to add value. All right, Hymn.
Cool. Thanks,
okay.
thanks, Colin, for introducing and also telling what happens during our sessions. So today I would like to also go deeper into what we talked during the workshops. But to do that, first of all, I would like to introduce a little bit about myself. So my name is Hymn, and let me pull up my slides. Wait a second.
Now let me stop sharing. Okay.
Okay. Can everybody see this?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, so so the working title now is called Tools for Life Design, and actually last few sessions, Colin and Leila have seen it already, but I'm going to shortly tell about what my story is about. And when I'm actually born and grew up in Holland, and when I was at age of 5, I started this question, what is the meaning of life? And I know this question many people has asked, and I was also trying to find out, but I couldn't find any answer as young as as a boy of 5 years. So from that, I was just moving on, and I listened to these voices from the society and my parents and teachers telling me, you gotta earn a lot of money and be rich and be successful in life. So I did all that, and I graduated. I left Holland after I graduated. I went to advertising, worked in global agencies, worked for big brands, and won awards. And so during my so when I was at the peak of my career in Beijing, that was 6 years ago. And then I found out, so what's next? And then the question pops up again, what's the meaning of life? And so that question I still couldn't answer. And then, so I was every day I went back to the same desk, same job, same computer, doing the same thing over and over again. And I found, maybe I should find this. I should find out, or maybe I should search for this meaning question. So I kind of quit my job, and then I went to this path of on search. So during my search, I knew that I need to tackle these 3 problems, which is the first one, who am I? And the second one is what shall I do with my life? And the third one, how do I live a meaningful life? And because during my search, the search was about 3-4 years, and then I know that many people also will have the same kind of questions, not only me. because everybody else have the same kind of issue or maybe need to find out what's the meaning of life. So I thought maybe it's interesting to kind of develop some tools or maybe something that people can use to give direction or give some guidance, like how to solve these kind of mysteries of life. So during my 3 or 4 years of like wandering up everywhere and just like doing all sorts of like meditation and also reading and also going back to this college to study university philosophy programs, all this stuff I did, and I just have a lot of insights, and I try to write them down. You know, just like life rule number 1 ... life rule number 2 ... So all this stuff I wrote down for myself, but I found out it's just for myself alone. It's not interesting. I mean, so what, you know? So after that, I wanted to share with more people like what I gained, and to do that, I used my background in design to create cards. So with these cards, I create I created like, this is a like old slide. I'm actually in the 4th year of making. I'm now actually more than 200 cards already. So each card represents an idea. So each idea is actually something that we might go through in life, and some will trigger people to think, but some will maybe give some people to like think deeper, like, hey, maybe. So for example, I give you an example, like for this one, some people will think this is my boss, right? This is very straightforward. But for example, for somebody who is in a college, or maybe some young children who's growing up, they will think this is her mother, or this is her father of some sort, or maybe a teacher. So everybody would have their own interpretation about these cards. So that's why I in the beginning, I thought I had words on all these pictures. But after I played with some people, I found out that each one have their own interpretation. I took out all these words, and then I found out, hey, this could be a very interesting tool, maybe to give people to think about deeper in life, like to talk about things that they wouldn't talk about. And so I try to combine all these like the Eastern and Western philosophies and try to minimalize them into like really, really minimalistic visuals. And so I think that visual is really effective and very impactful to directly hit your like subconscious, because subconscious is without words. They don't use words. They just use maybe feelings and visuals, like really straightforward. That's why I think maybe using these cards can be a tool to let people to express themselves and to know themselves. So yes, so that's what I want to talk about is during my search, I found out that, you know, a lot of people talk about, what's the meaning of life? And I think the first and foremost thing is, if you do not know about yourself, you don't know what's your meaning of life. I mean, that's the first fundamental question people has to tackle, is to know more about themselves. So I think these cards is a way for people to understand themselves. So now at the moment, these cards are without any words, also without a system yet. So that's why I'm trying to create a system to use these cards optimally. And so last 3 weeks, I guess, or maybe 1 month, I forgot actually. It was maybe a few weeks ago. With Colin organized a mini workshop with us, and I showed these cards, and then we created this. So we had this step-by-step approach. So Colin came up with like a little exercise for us. So it was about, what are we going to tackle? So it was these 3 questions again. So the first one is, who am I? And what do I want to do with my life? And how do I live a meaningful life? So these are the 3 the things that we want to tackle. And then we went on to talk about who. So some other fellows just came up with the personas and talking about like who might be the potential users of these cards. So some came up with a student of 25 years old and unsatisfied and a lot of anger, comparing with peers and feeling stuck. But another one is Layla actually came up with a lady called Tanya, and she's age 40. She's a mother feeling lonely, and she's also feeling misunderstood. And the one I came up with is called Jack, and he's 19 years old, and he's just about he's actually aiming getting good grades to finish school, but he didn't have any clue what's after. So I think these people have the same issue, or maybe actually the same problem that I ran into, which is the 3 questions. And to tackle them, I think the next workshop, because we didn't have enough time, so the next workshop will be about the how. So how are we going to use these cards, like to tackle these people with these questions, with these problems? So that's what I'm looking forward to also. And I hope if you're interested, and you are very welcome to join and to co-create something together, and to create a tool that's going to be very useful for a lot of people. And I think that's it for my part. And yeah, if there's any questions, feel free to ask.
So go ahead.
Him,
Yeah.
I think this is a great piece of work. I actually have a one banner here as a designer.
Oh.
But I am not. So, but I'm a fan of design thinking. So yes, also one of my interests is how interest and passion is that how can I link with create and coaching and the other, and maybe another one, because I think create is important for me as well. And I think using kind of this technique, design thinking mindset is really helpful. So my question is that, so you join a coach group, right? So maybe you can share some scenarios that how the coach how they apply these cards in their coaching sessions.
Okay. So to answer your question, there's no system yet. So that's why I would like to together we create something like a system behind this tool, because I don't know if you heard about O cards or maybe points of view. So these cards are also tools for life design, basically, for people to use to O cards is more about therapeutic approach, like getting people to talk about themselves. Points of view is more about linking yourself to the image and then expressing your first thoughts. So to how to say, so yeah, there's no system yet for this tool, but on my journey of 4 years of making, I've actually used a lot of these cards, and I can share a little bit about how people like react on them. And so I did a lot of meetups, and the topic is mainly about meaning of life. and most people, how to say, the first period, like first 3 months, nobody showed up because it was a little bit too deep, I guess, or maybe too serious. So after I changed the topic to like, what is happiness? It's like totally different atmosphere, totally different mood. What is happiness? And then people will showed up, and or maybe talk, or I also tried another one. It's called what is successful? What does successful mean to you? And then also people showed up. So I think also the title is very important. So when people showed up, I tried to use one card to show the people, like, what do you see in these cards? And I would let everybody to tell their own interpretation. And once they've told their own interpretation, because everybody will have a very different feel, or maybe they some have the same, but still they will have their own kind of like details. And to summarize, when after the first round of people talking about their interpretation, I will then draw the conclusion that saying that, no, this is just one card, and there's actually so many views. And I have to, sorry that I'm a little bit not so constructed in my saying. What I want to say is like, so why are these called both sides? Maybe I have to explain a little bit more about this concept of both sides. It's because there are many sides to any truth. So there's only one card, okay? But there are many different interpretations. So that's why people shouldn't only like only believing that what they stand for is the only truth. So what I'm saying is there can actually be more other answers than just one. And I use these cards to prove to people that, we shouldn't only stick to our own beliefs for now, but we should also open up ourselves to listen to other new beliefs, or maybe other thinkings. That's why I try to use this concept of both sides to connect what they already know to something that they do not know, something that they have never heard about, or maybe they have never questioned themselves. So during the groups, I will also let people to like encourage them to ask each other questions. It's like they're like mirrors of each other. So because when you're on your own, you're like you're basically, you don't see your own blind spots. But once you are together with other people, they can spot out, or they spot on your, like, the things that you actually have missed out, or maybe haven't considered. So that's why I use these cards to get people to talk about some topics. So maybe there's some like about freedom, this about money, or maybe there's some about like energy, or maybe some sort of what is satisfaction, things like that. And people will get a lot of insights from these conversations. It's really, sometimes it goes very deep. And but I still, to me, using these cards for so many times actually, I think there's no system, and I feel like it's not really working. If, for example, if I'm not there, then nobody knows how to use it, So that's why I feel like if there's a system to use, to like a manual, like, okay, step 1, step 2, okay, then people will even, if this is a product by it on its own, then I don't need to be there, and people can use it, and it's going to be beneficial to anybody who use them by themselves. So that's why I think this card needs to develop some sort of like a way of playing. Yeah, I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yes, sure. You give lots of information. Yeah, I would like to co-create that later on.
Cool.
Yeah, if I can add something here. So Juliet, your reaction, I could see in your face, is the same reaction I had the first time I saw these cards. I could see these cards. I could see myself facilitating a session using these cards, right? At the time, though, I just didn't know how. So as Hymn said, the first thing we did was really talked about, okay, what pain what pain point are we trying to solve here, right? Who, what issues will these cars sort of alleviate? Once we identified those three questions, which took some time, right? We then said, okay, what are some personas? Who are the exact people who we think will be our demographic, right? Our target group. And then we said, okay, now we know what problem we're going to solve. We know the people, right? Now the fun part, as you said, how, right? So I think you're volunteering to be a part of the next group when we talk about this, because I think this is a great. I think we it's awesome, but this is a great start of a program that's being developed. As him mentioned, he's very proactive in getting this off the ground. It's been about 4 years now. So all the support we can give him will be very beneficial. I know for a fact I'll be there to help him out, because I want to do two things, quite frankly. I want to help develop the how, and then 6 months down the line, I want to facilitate using these cards, because I think it'll be fun. So him, we're going to support you all that we can. So we're running short on time. Before we move on, any more questions for him? Okay, so him, thank you for sharing your program in the making here. Everything looks good.
My pleasure.
Okay.